Hello all, welcome back to my channel, Hithika Productions. I hope everyone is doing good. Today I'm going to explain you guys how we can use config files in A360. So basically, every RPA tool will use config files. So I'm going to show you guys how we can best use of the config files in A360. Organization to organization, the file types might differ. So some organizations might use a flat file, some will be CSV, and some will be text, and some will be XML and Excel. So today I'm just explaining you guys Excel and XML. If you are visiting my channel first time, or if you are watching my videos first time, please do like, share, and subscribe, and hit on the bell icon so that whenever I upload new videos, you will get the notification. Let's dive into today's topic. Let me show you the files which I was just talked about. So here is my Excel file, is a config file, and I do created one more config file which is XML, and let me show you that how it looks. So it have a root, and under that elements were there. So it's a single root. So that is why you can see uh, just one. Thing. It's not it doesn't have the complex elements. Okay, so let's start with Excel. So basically, some folks how they used to read the config as let's say they directly take get cell activity, and they just hard code this cell value. So which is not the best practice. Why I'm saying that? Let's say in future the position of it is changed, so that time it's not going to work. So it's going to work, but the value is going to be wrong. So for example, so today let's say this is the company name. Okay, tomorrow someone trying to edit and they moved it to here, so position number 12. So that day still the company name is going to pick it from here, and if this variable is something different, even though it is going to pick the value from here and it will be used further, so which is wrong. So that's why to avoid these kind of things, I recommended to use uh, some standard method. Let's see what it is exactly. So I'm facing some connectivity issues. Okay, it seems it's connected. So the approach what I am going to tell you guys was just read it as a data table, and then use some proper logic to segregate or pick it from any place. Like let's say today the variable name is comes at fifth row, and tomorrow it comes at 10th row. It should not impact, right? So I'm just going to show that approach. So I'm just creating a task, named it as read config. So as usual, you can use the Excel, uh, package. I'm just using one open spreadsheet command. Not sure why. Let's take this way. If it is not sure, then I'll use to take this path. Copy as path. I'm just going back here. So now no need to give the quotations, just taking it out. Okay, and contains headers, let's say yes. Sorry, let's say contains headers. If you wanted, if you have multiple sheets, if you want to give the sheet name, you are welcome to give. Let's say local session, just keeping config as the session name. So then we have command get a worksheet as a data table. So active sheet, yes, contains headers. So you can keep config, and let's create a data table. So I will say v config dt. Okay, and let's save it. So I just taken it to there, and then close. You can use close. So now you can start your logic. So here there are almost 10 variables. I will just show you guys for 3 or 4 variables. The same repetitive process we can do. So let me show you how we can do it. So as usual, we need to loop through. So loop through a data table. You can see the iterate and can use a data table. And you can mention the data table, and let's say I will just say the current record will be config record. Okay, now everything you can access from this at a time. Uh, the entire record will comes here. From there you can retrieve it. So what I can do, I will just take if condition. So let's take a string. Sorry, and the source will be, let's say, source will be, this is the name. I'm just hit a function F2 or F2. You can read it from this, and name will be this. If this is equals to, let's say, this is equals to email to, then read its value. If this is equals to this, then you can say what I can say, assign. Let's take assign. I will assign again. You can just go to that value, that one, this one, and this will be the value. So here I just need to read this value, right? Okay. So then assign it to let's see, since it is a config variable, I will just notate as a C in the beginning, lowercase c, email to. Okay, so this is your standard structure. So now what I can do, I will just take a copy, and I'm just keeping it here rather. So I'm just taking here, and then so let's say I'm just reading only 3 variables, so the process remains same. So let's say the second one. So here I'm just going to change this variable name is equals to something else. Let's say project base location. Even you can apply is not equal to null concept also. Let's say sometimes these 2 records were empty, and then the values appear. So the time what you can do, you can exclude if the value of this variable name is equals to null, then you can exclude that record. So that also we can do it. So I was reading a project base location, and then assigning that value to, let's say, a different variable. base location. Okay, and the next one, let's say this would be something, let's say batch name is equals to batch name, then go inside and read the variable and let's say c batch name. Okay, so this is done. I'm just just given only three variables. Let me keep it in message box to display for you guys. So I'll just show, let's say, what is the variable name, hit function f2 batch name. Batch name, for example, if you want to insert a new line, there is uh, something called new line. I think this will work, and then you can use the other one, email to, let's say, let me do this, enter, let's give it here. So give that variable, and then I'm just copying this to here, and then the last one would be project base location. So you can access it from variable. Now I'm just going to test it how it works. Don't save. Okay, let's see how it's going to work. So as I mentioned, if you are not using this way, if you directly use like a get cell option and hard code the you know cell address, so in case in future if that are interchanged or placed to somewhere else, then it throws error. So there is something issue. Let's see what it is. Unable to find any open session config. Okay, so it clearly says the close doesn't have the session name as a config. Okay, close this and rerun. So to avoid that, we can use it as like read it as a data table and use this if kind of thing. Even though if you don't want it to, even you don't want it to hard code those values, then there is another concept you can use, but it's little complicated. So if you feel something is really you know dynamic, then you can use that approach. Line number 2. Okay, okay, the issue is that line number 2. Let's try to see, is this causing, no, it's opening the file, sorry. Okay, okay, so do you guys identified the reason? So in the beginning, when I open the session, I given a C as also a lowercase, but here I just given it as a uppercase. So this makes, even you cannot identify, it's a, can say blind. You cannot identify the lowercase or smaller things. You usually looks for the spellings. So that is the thing which I'm guessing. Let's see. So by this you can understand the session names are case sensitive. can see batch name, location, base location, and then email to, and the batch name. So if you use lines, then you can see line by line. If even you used it in a single line, you write the expression in single line. If you use the system variable line, you can use it. You can get it something like this. Okay. So this is how we can use Excel as a config file. So let me show you how we can use XML as a config. I'm just creating. So I'm just moving all the Excel related into it so that we can do single shot commenting. Okay, I may need this one. Let it be. So let's take another step. Let's start doing things for XML. So basically in XML also, let's search XML. You will get XML related command. We have to start the session first. So let me. We'll use the same default. No need to you know uh, kind of giving the case sensitive naming conventions. So here let's take the XML. So the session was started, and I can use since it is the not the complex element, I will just use single node. So I will just say here we can give the XPath expression. So it's a simple, like you can give this one. This is the basic XPath expression. So you have to use the slash and then which element you need to read. Let's say I need to read this one, email to, then just go here and give it here. And let's see, I'm going to use the same variables, email to, and then I'm going to reuse it. So email to is done, and then let's say now I will just use a company name, or let's say the same variables. I don't need to create another variable, project base location. I will just remove it, and we'll use a project base location. And the other one, so the final variable, which one, is it a batch name? I think a batch name. Okay, let's remove that and give the batch name. Okay, so end the session. Once you're done, you can end the session. Let's save and run. You might feel this is straightforward, simple compared to Excel. This is a straightforward, but only the challenge is if people have the knowledge on XML, then they're welcome to use this. Mostly, if there is a requirements, let's say there is a shared drive, business people used to update that, and then bot has to trigger, right? So those cases, if the business team doesn't have the knowledge on XML, then there would be some mess will be happen. It causes failures of the bot. So mostly we will use Excel those scenarios. So here again we are able to read batch name, email to, and then we're able to read project based location. So this is how we can use and we can read the or retrieve the data from config files from different file types of configs, and we can use it in later point of time in the project. So I hope this video helps you guys to work with config files if it is XML or Excel. So if you are watching this video first time or visiting my channel first time, do like, share, and subscribe, and hit a bell icon. You will get the notifications on my further videos. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye bye.